Hey everyone, Anthony Scott here at ToyHypeUSA.com. Today I am taking a look at Playmates Toys' newly released Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Module Vehicle, which is a reissue for 2025. It was originally released in 1990, and this is a Target Stores exclusive in the US, retailing for $42.99. Thank you to Playmates Toys for sending this vehicle along for review. It's greatly appreciated. The packaging is retro inspired. You get a lot of the same artwork here with a few differences. Number one, the kid on the bottom left has been removed and just replaced with an image of the vehicle. The original one in 1990 had a model in there, but they removed it for this packaging. The module is chasing Raphael, which just as the original did, and it still remains to be great artwork here. The top here is a closer look at that. You have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles logo, Mutant Module, the burrowing bad boy bus, an image of the vehicle. On the side, you have the same thing, and it's the same for the other side as well. Let me show you that. So there's your look there. On the bottom, it has the logo there, the Nickelodeon logo, various other logos. And on the back, you have more images of the vehicle, a description. On the left, there are arrows pointing to what everything is called, so you can read all about that. Let me show you guys the description here. I also want to point out on the secondary market, the original one could go for hundreds of dollars, especially if it comes with the original box and if it's unopened. So it could be worth a lot. The fact that this is reissued, it could bring down the price of the original. So that is definitely noteworthy. I also want to say that back in 1990, I did not own this vehicle. I had other Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles vehicles, the Technodrome, the Sorlair, various other vehicles and figures, but not this. So this is the first time in my life that I get to own this vehicle. I am going to open this up now and let's take a closer look. Here I open the box and you'll notice that there are two separate cardboard boxes inside. The one on the right I haven't opened yet, which is obviously the Mutant module inside, and the one on the left has various accessories in there packaged in poly bags, as well as the sheet of instructions. Here is the sheet of instructions, which includes a description right on the upper right-hand side there. On the left shows you where all the stickers go. To the right of that, where all of the attachments go. And to the right of that shows you the completed assembly. Here is a closer look, in case you want to see that. The description that I mentioned. This is where all the parts go. Completed assembly. And there is your look at all that. Here is your look at the sticker sheet. My suggestion would be to use the images on the box as a reference when you're putting it on, and do pay close attention to make sure you are placing the sticker in the right spot. Here is a look at the Mutant module taken out of the box. This has stickers unapplied and all of the accessories unapplied, which I'm sure that most of you haven't seen in over 30 years. Since I've never owned this back in 1990 or any year after that, this is a first for me. And the body has a lot of details on there, considering that there hasn't been any accessories or stickers attached to it yet. They really went all out as far as that. But here is a look at all sides for you guys, and here is a look at the back. On the inside, you can place a number of figures in here. There are no seats, but you could definitely fit a whole bunch of figures, and I'm going to be demonstrating that as well. On the front, you have a computer screen there, which is a sticker. And of course, here's a look at the bottom. You'll notice that the bottom has wheels. There are 4 of them, so you can definitely wheel this around. Here we have a look at all of the parts, including the big orange drill. You'll notice that there are several other pieces that are especially small, including those small purple drills, various wires, the doors on top, those are acrylic. I am going to assemble this now, and let's take a closer look. Here is your in-hand look at the Mutant module. I visually compared it to images online from the original 1990 version. I think there are some various differences in the paint offered between the two, such as the purple being a different shade of purple on the original, the gray being darker. This one is light, and wherever you see gray, it was darker on the original. It also looked like it had darker blue right there on these parts here, as well as a different shade of orange in the back. So just know that there are some various differences, and I've been able to confirm it by, again, going back and looking at the original online. This features a rotating drill, so when you move it, it rotates. Let me bring this a little bit closer so you guys can see that. And the purpose of this in the classic cartoon was that Shredder, Bebop, Rocksteady, and some foot soldiers can enter this vehicle, tunnel through the earth, go into New York City, and do whatever mission that Krang basically tells them what to do. On the cartoon, they entered the Mutant module, or transport module, as it was called in the cartoon, on the side. However, the toy offered it on the top. So here, up here, this is where you're going to put the figures. Here's a look at it all sides. And you'll also notice that I applied the stickers. I applied all the accessories. And here is a look at the back. Also in the cartoon, the transport module, or this is the Mutant module as the toy is called. However, the transport module is what they called it on the cartoon. It was drawn very simple, and that is because they had to hand draw each slide, and to do something with a bit more detail would have taken them a lot longer. So that is one reason why the toy is a lot more detailed compared to the cartoon drawings, basically. And as far as the detail goes, it's the same as the original. A lot of really good details on there, accessories, weaponry, which wasn't on or featured in the cartoon, interestingly enough. I am referring back to the instructions, going to call it what it's officially called, the Rockin' Blastin' Missile, which are up here. These can be detached from the top doors, and what I like about it is that it makes the doors a lot easier to open. It also has a rotating rear stone shooter. That is what the instructions call it. And you can rotate it a little bit like this. Doesn't really rotate much, but you basically get an idea of what that looks like. Down here, there are a couple of platforms, including the foot claw, which has claws, which you see right here. You see the front of the claws. And the rear one, also called the foot claw. And you see the claw right there on the front. And below there, you see some foot soldiers right on the tank treads. And then there are wheels right under it. That's how it can rotate. The tank treads don't actually touch the ground. There's probably a little bit more than 1/8 of an inch off the floor. On the back here, you have the rocket exhaust, which is this big one here, and the tunneling turbos, which are down here. These tubes are connected to the rocket exhaust as well as the vehicle, and these are pretty easy to get on. It's the same on the other side. Let's take a look at the other side. On here, these are the dirty drill bore bits. There are a bunch of them. These are small and they don't come with any extra, so do not lose any. Be very careful. I specified they do roll around, so just take note of that. Down here, this is the rock liquidizing lasers, and there are 2 of them, one on each side. These can swivel as shown, so you can position it like that and lift the other side up, and this can shoot, which is pretty cool. Going back to this side here, and I believe that is basically it as far as what all of the parts are called. Here is another bird's eye view of the vehicle, this time with all of the weaponry attached. Here is a look at the back. Now it looks like you can fit a number of figures in here. I'm going to put as many as I can. And here is a look at it from the top. Here I have it loaded up with 3 figures. That's all I could fit inside. Shredder, Bebop, and Rocksteady in that order. And I was able to almost close it. It does stick up a tiny bit, but just note that it can be closed. Here is a look at all sides. You'll notice that Shredder is in the driver's seat, and Bebop and Rocksteady are just barely fitting inside in the back. Here is bird's eye view of the figures in here. Here I was able to fit 3 foot soldiers, but it does not close getting them in here. So there is that issue, but do note that you can fit up to 4 figures depending on which figures you decide to put in there. I believe that you could put in a total of 4 foot soldiers, take Shredder out, and replace him with a 4th foot soldier, so that is possible. Here is a comparison of Raphael with the Mutant module to give you guys an idea of the scale. This is the 2009 Raphael reissue, in case those of you were wondering. Here is a comparison of the Turtles with the Mutant module. Here is a comparison of the villains, which includes a foot soldier, Bebop, Rocksteady, and Shredder. There are also handles on both sides, and you can use a foot soldier, put his hand on it, and place his feet on the foot claw. Here is the other side. And just to show you guys a look, there's a handle on both sides, as I said, and here is a look at that. Overall, the Mutant module is an excellent vehicle. I think fans and kids are going to love. Definitely recommend you guys pick this up. I love the features. The rotating drill is definitely a lot of fun to play around with. And design-wise, I think they did a great job with it back in the day. I did not have this as a kid, so this was a first for me. I am thrilled to have this now as an adult. And in case you guys want to pick it up, you can find it at Target stores now, $42.99. Do run over there, grab it, see if it's available online. Don't wait. I think this is going to be a popular vehicle. Thank you to Playmates Toys for sending this along for review. It's greatly appreciated. I am Anthony Scott. Thank you for watching this video, and stay tuned for more news and reviews.